Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our last EU game of the day coming up. We were a bit delayed getting in between Steam issues, and then one of the Chinese casters was having some trouble loading in, so sorry for the delay, folks, but this match is finally underway. We've got Insane Gaming versus Sigma International.
Yeah, seen a few of Sigma's games lately. They seem to be on a bit of an upswing. They're playing a bit better than they were a couple of weeks ago. As for Insane Gaming, I haven't had the chance to cast these games too much, so you're going to have to fill me in as far as Insane Gaming goes.
Insane has been a little bit lackluster. We can take a look at the grid here and see where they're standing. Yeah, they're 0-4 right now, so they're closer to the tail end of the pack, I suppose you could say. But they're one of the lower-seeded teams. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place with this production today, gods. We do recognize some of their names, though. Big Num, FN, Show Me, Aloha Dance, Ink Visitor. They are regulars around Starladder.
You've got the wrong teams up.
Son of a bitch. I sure do. But, so, they're regulars around Starladder, but...
You've still got the wrong teams up.
Oh,
You've got the wrong match
I
selected.
See. I had the wrong match. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Jesus. That long break messing with me here. And there we go. Now
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. That's the spirit. What would I do without you, gods?
That's all right.
Keeping me on my toes.
Whew.
So, anyway, the Insane Gaming guys, they are regulars around Starladder, but unfortunately their performance so far in this particular season hasn't been so hot. Doom is kind of that signature hero of Ink Visitor. Every time I see these guys, I always think, ban the Doom or prepare to feel the wrath of Doom, because it is a hero they love to run. A little bit less in this patch, but historically that's been one of their most picked/banned heroes.
Yeah. For now, they've gone for this Dazzle Starladder, which is something that Rox Kiss absolutely love to use, both the Starladder and the Dazzle. And it's a very kind of CIS style of strategy. These Eastern European teams love their Dazzle and Starladder as well. So this is pretty annoying and hard to deal with at times, but we'll see what Sigma In have planned. They get what is their most popular support hero in the Bane, and this is something which a lot of teams just ban out in the first stage because of how much Sigma love Bane.
Yeah, they're particularly Bane fanatics. That is Mad's signature hero. We've seen a lot of big plays from him. Even dating back to MLG Columbus, it's really no secret that Bane is his best hero, his signature hero, and very brave from Insane Gaming not to ban it out. The Invoker, I think, makes sense. We got to see Fada's Invoker the other day, and it was pretty solid. The Naga, a hero that they run quite a bit, but honestly, I'd be more afraid of Bane than Naga when it comes to Sigma.
Yeah, the Naga. Yeah, but they did one game where Fata played a solo mid kind of split pushing Radiance Naga, but it was like not the most impressive thing in the world. So a bit surprised by the Naga ban, and also something which is Dazzle Starladder kind of strategy. I don't think has too many problems dealing with necessarily, but hey, if it's something which is it's an annoying strategy nonetheless, so you may as well consider banning it out and. We'll head on towards the next week. AA gets banned by Sigma, and that's a bit surprising because that's something I think they could have almost picked to deal with the Dazzle heals, even the Grave. Sure, you can Grave and keep someone alive from the Ice Blast, but as soon as that Grave wears off, the Ice Blast shatters them, so...
Yeah, you're right. It is a fair hero to try and deal with Dazzle, but we'll see how Sigma want to draft around it.
Instant Visage.
I would say I don't have my stat sheet in front of me, but I don't think Sigma are particularly keen on the Ancient Apparition. It's not a support that they've been running very much recently relative to a lot of other teams, given that AA has been kind of the flavor of the month, if you will. So Bane Visage, two very standard supports in the Radiant arsenal here.
Alrighty, well, we'll see what they look to go along with this. They've had some really cool draft Sigma as of late. Like, I remember one game they had a kind of like farming Tidehunter. It took them a long time to win that game, but just the whole concept of putting Paris Soshka on that Tidehunter was just like a neat little kind of new thing that we hadn't really seen too much of.
Yeah, and like you said, it worked pretty well. Tidehunter, I think he's a really underrated hero right now. I think he's pretty darn strong, and teams really don't utilize him much.
Yeah.
Are you a Tidehunter? I know Merlini loves the Tidehunter. Are you a Tidehunter fan?
I think he needs to be played as a solo, like either he needs to be played as a core role, whether that's off lane, solo mid, or safe lane farm. I don't think he makes a good support at all. I think he's a terrible support.
Yeah.
Like you just don't do anything. Like you Gush is an okay roaming spell, but any other support has better roaming spells. And then he's so slow to get that level 6, you get Ravaged too late in the game. So I think he needs either to be solo mid against a melee hero, off lane in like a 1v1 matchup. I don't think he does good against tri lanes, or he needs to be like that safe lane kind of farmer role.
Okay, so yeah, he does have sort of a niche role right now where he's sort of an off laner, but only in ideal scenarios. He's not like a Bat Rider level off laner or something where you can sort of do okay against tri lanes.
Yeah. So your best bet is always with Tide getting him a 1v1 matchup against a melee hero, which you can often do in the mid lane, but as a mid laner, he doesn't really rotate to other lanes very well until he has like a Blink Dagger up.
Yeah. Well,
I get
Insane did go ahead and grab
Beastmaster.
Lion, but whoa,
Dire
Beastmaster did go ahead and grab
Beastmaster.
Lion, but
Dire
whoa,
team
Beastmaster for
Okay.
Sigma, very interesting. Another a hero that I would label right now maybe a little bit underrated. We don't see him picked all that
Yeah.
often, and he can be quite useful.
I like Beastmaster. He's definitely can be very useful at times and good in push strats. Very versatile. Reminds me a lot of Doom in that he's just so versatile. Can fit into different lanes. Can fit into any kind of a strategy. Like you've got your push, you've got your raw, which goes through
10
BKB, so he
seconds
counters a lot of
remaining.
annoying heroes and has great vision and map control with the Hawk.
5 seconds
Yes,
remaining.
that's very true. And grabbing early BOTs on Beastmaster can be very irritating. He can BOT
Reserve
into where the
time.
Hawk is, so not only is it a scouting tool, but it's sort of like a mobile teleportation pad if he can get up BOTs.
Yeah.
So that's just another thing that
And-
Beastmaster does
And
well.
not even just yourself. A hero like Batrider is quite a
Radiant team
common
ban.
BOTs buyer. Like
Mhm.
like it used to be like some players would get BOTs really early. Bone 7 on his Batrider would rush first item BOTs before even getting Blink Dagger. But doing something like that, even if you go Blink, Force, then BOTs,
Yeah.
travels with Hawk is just such great synergy.
10
Yeah,
seconds
and
remaining.
Insane will go ahead and grab themselves the Templar Assassin. I imagine that's
5
in
seconds
effort to be
remaining.
kind of a counter pick to the Beastmaster.
I would say not really
Reserve
counter pick.
time.
I mean, it can obviously do well mid lane, but I don't think they're saying, hey, let's pick TA to counter Beastmaster. It's more like, hey, this hero will do well in lane, but they want more physical damage to go with all this minus armor. You got the Dazzle minus armor, Starladder minus armor, and added the
5
Meld minus
seconds
armor. TA is
remaining.
going to be killing heroes just so incredibly
Dire
fast. So I
team
think it's
ban.
more that it fits into their lineup than that it counters Sigma.
Okay.
It just so happens TA wins mid lane against most heroes.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. You're right. The meld mixed with the amplified damage from Starladder. We've seen that combo a few times throughout this this group stage of Starladder EU, and
Yeah.
it's pretty
10
potent.
seconds
It gets
remaining.
scary. Even if you're like up against the ropes, you're playing from behind, you can burst people down,
5
especially
seconds
squishier
remaining.
supports so easily. And Sigma right now, Beastmaster is their only
Reserve
tanky
time.
presence right now. Visage, Batrider, and Bane are all pretty susceptible to that minus armor burst.
Yeah. You have got, I guess some defensive capabilities. You've got your Lasso, your Raw, as well as Bane with Enfeeble, Nightmare, Fiend Script. He's got 3 kind of defensive skills there, all of which can somewhat help against a TA. But
Mhm.
you get enough minus armor, and Enfeeble's only going to do so much.
Yeah, the Visage Birds are pretty good for trying to deal with the refraction.
Radiant
And
team
Beastmaster as well, having those extra summons makes things a little bit easier, just some extra attacks flying in to take down those charges. So they do have some tools at their disposal.
I think both teams have solid drafts right now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you can say one team's draft is countering the others, or one team's got a much stronger draft. They're just very different styles of play. So I don't think you can give either team an edge based on these first 4 picks.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We'll see what they want to do with this
10
final
seconds
choice, though.
remaining.
Sigma will presumably need a carry here, something to do to pair with the
5
Visage
seconds
and the Bane.
remaining.
And
Oh,
interesting.
farming Sand King.
Dire team
So,
It
yeah.
looks like, at least, unless you put like a Visage on a farming role, but this is most likely. I mean, we talked about Paris playing the farming Tidehunter. Sand King's kind of in a similar position where if you get a fast Arcane Blinks up,
Mhm.
I mean, you can do that in the jungle a little bit, but I don't know. I quite like the idea of Sigma seem to have decided you don't actually need carry heroes in the current metagame. Like you can get away without it. And
Yeah.
It's definitely there's some truth in that. I mean, that's why you look at Insane's
10
lineup. They've got
seconds remaining.
Starter and TA both kind of semi carries, but they could have no TA here and they'd still have a pretty strong, scary draft.
Well, they will grab a hero that synergizes well with all of that minus armor we're looking at. It is a Bristleback, another very tanky presence. So both teams without, I guess you could call TA a traditional hard carry. So Insane do have some more carry power. Very tanky. It's sort of a clash of the drafts. It's interesting how they both have different strengths, but I still agree. I don't think either side has been particularly outdrafted, just very different strategies.
Yeah.
One more magic damage heavy, and then the other obviously much more
Yes.
physical heavy.
And you've got like a Slatter who's a BKB buyer. TA as well. Often you can definitely rush a BKB on TA, like just go phase, drums, BKB. You don't even have to get the Blink Dagger if you don't want to. So they've got... The thing is, you've got the counters for the BKB. So Sigma go heavy magic damage, but then they also get both Batrider and Beastmaster who can lock down heroes who are in BKB form. And your right click, sure you don't have a true carry, but with Beastmaster Aura, the Inner Beast, everyone's just attacking that much faster, and your right click damage is still there. So it's still something that you can not really rely on, but it still exists.
So we'll see how Sigma want to set up these lanes. It will be Miggle playing on the Batrider. Right now it appears he's headed towards the off lane. Sachka, usually their position 1 player, on the farming Sand King. It will be Pass on the Visage heading down to that bottom lane. And 10 fucking mad himself playing his signature Bane, and that leaves Fada in the mid on the Beastmaster.
Alrighty, on the Dire side is Team Insane Gaming. We've got Chomi playing the Templar Assassin. We've got Aloha Dance on the Lion. FN, playing the Starladder. We've got Bignum on the Bristleback. And then finally it leaves Aldazzle, Inquisitor. Going to be finding paths here in the jungle. This should be an easy kill. This level 1 Hex has a long duration. And
Uh-oh. Are we going to have a remake here?
wow.
Both teams firing shots. Fada started it off.
At least I'm glad Fata threw out the smiley faces. That was unnecessary from Insane Gaming.
All in good fun. Like I said, Fada started it off. Can we remake? I skilled Ravage, the D.
You say all in good fun, but I don't think Sigma thought that one was all in good fun.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was a low blow.
Hello.
Maybe Sigma are deserving of a few low blows right now, but that was
too low.
Yeah.
Too close to the groin area. Well, either way, Insane. This is something else that they like to do. We've seen more than once where they do this 5-man smoke, move into the jungle, and just try and pick up a kill. Not the first time I've seen it successful in this Season 9 of Starladder. So they will walk away with the first blood. The last hit did go to Bristleback, so not a bad hero to grab that bonus gold. That will make Big Num's laning phase much easier as he will be in the solo offlane role.
Yep. And yeah, both teams going just with the standard offlaners. Bristleback with Boot Stout Shield level 1. This is at the same time, this is a trail lane that can kill a Bristleback at level 1. You've got not like your Bane Visage protecting a carry. They're protecting a Sand King who's got a lot of killing power even at level 1 with Burrow Strike. An 11-second cooldown, not too bad for a Burrow Strike. So you sleep, you Burrow Strike, you pop you have your Visage with the slow, and then you get maybe even a second Burrow Strike in. So Bristle's not even going to lane. He's just going to go straight to stack some Ancients, especially with level 1 goo. This is less than ideal as far as level 1 skills go.
Yeah, it's really useful for that early fighting in the jungle because you can't get away from him. But yeah, in lane it does next to nothing.
He probably shouldn't have got it because once the Hex from the Lion came out, you pretty much secured the kill. But I think he wanted to just make sure.
Yeah, so it will harbor his laning phase a little bit. Still, we'll see how he fares. In the mid, TA versus Rexar. It seems the Beastmaster is off to a good start. 4-2 versus the 1-3 Templar Assassin as the creeps do get shoved into the tower.
Yep.
But pretty even across the board here. Miggle doing okay in the offlane, doing standard cheeky plays with the Bat Rider, trying to absorb some experience from these Hellbears.
Yeah. It's a good play from Miggle. This is what you need to do in the offlane. And Batrider needs the levels more than the farm in the offlane because he can then go get his farm in the jungle. We can see mid lane rotation coming out. Just Bane being annoying. And this is where Beastmaster's actually doing pretty well in CS because Bane's constantly just being a pest in this mid lane.
Yeah, he does not have early and feeble. Level 1, first point in Nightmare, fairly standard, but just his presence is certainly something that keeps TA on her toes. Big Num will be engaged on down in the bottom lane. Paris to start off with a stun. Now, Poss coming in, does have some damage available. Bane with a Nightmare. I think Big Num is going to be in big trouble here. He does not have a TP scroll, so best he can hope for is just to try and juke in the trees and avoid death, but that ain't happening. Sand King secures a kill.
That's one of those cases, like, he's got Stout Shield, but like Bristleback is meant to be that tanky offlaner, but he's just any normal 600 HP hero there because he's got no Quill Sprays even and no Bristleback. Both of those are your 2 defensive skills. Quill Spray because, hey, if you stack enough Quills on the enemy team, they can't chase you because they're going to die to the Quill stacks. But without either of those 2 skills, he's like a 600 HP support hero in the offlane because he has nothing. He has no defensive skills.
Exactly right, my friend. So Sigma will tie it up 1-1 here at the 3-minute mark. We saw a rotation up towards Miggle, but he does Firefly into the waterfall here, and he survives just fine. So, well, still pretty even across the board. Q-Pad with a slight gold lead, but experience Sigma to get things kicked off.
Yep. And
so in this mid lane, if Fada and Chomi trade evenly in last hits like they kind of are now, 13-8 versus 10-4, slight edge for Chomi, who does that favor? I mean, would you expect TA to win this lane? So a break even is kind of an advantage for Fada, or is this a fairly even?
It looks like Fada's bottle crowing, so it's slightly TA. It's definitely TA favored. It's just by a matter of how much. And right now he's 14-8 to the 12-5 of Beastmaster. So I'd say Beastmaster's doing slightly better than he should be, but I think some of that comes down to the Bane harass at mid, and Fata just being an incredible mid player. So
so that's good news, though. Both
it's not bad news for Chomi. Like Beastmaster getting a bit more farm than he should isn't like oh man I've lost my lane. It's just what's gonna matter is what they do later on in the game once we hit the 10-minute mark.
Right. And also thinking about future item pickups for Beastmasters, something probably worth a mention. The Fast Ags Rush is something we've seen a few times if he wants to be a bit more active, and early Blink works pretty well, and then we also mentioned the early BOTs for a bit more map mobility.
This
Any
could be an
thoughts
early
here?
BOTs game, I feel. Like,
Yeah.
BOT's quite nice. The other option is you go for the mech, if you want to have a mech for your team. But we're going to see...
No, Aloha Dance, he's
Yeah.
in some trouble. He wants to contest this rune, but
Not happening.
yeah, well, he'll at least... No, just unfortunate. There's no positive there. He didn't even deny the rune. Fada picked it up, filled up his bottle, and Bat Rider was actually the one to grab that kill. So now Miggle will get a little boost on his way to his Blink Dagger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back to the Beast match, I think it will be most likely a fast mech. Oh, we're going to have a kill bottom lane.
Wow.
They got the Bristleback again, and that was with a line rotating in. He just respawned TP down bottom, but he can't really turn around that gank. And Paris with the fast Arcane Boots. This Sand King's going to have a very fast Arcane Blink.
Yeah. So, basically, my question is, when do you want to go for the Ags Rush on Beastmaster? When is that, like, the ideal item choice?
If you have someone on your team going mech, if you don't need the blink, if you have other teammates who can also initiate, it's kind of like a combination of factors. Especially if you're a frontliner as well and you need to tank up a bit. But that's where, like, hey, if you want to tank up a bit, mech's much more cost effective.
Very true. And now Chomi could be in some trouble. Bat Rider rotates in. Fada low on health and mana. Lion comes in with a stun. Chomi looking to commit to this kill, but Bane ports in, and they will turn it around. Templar Assassin falls, and now Aloha Dance not out of the clear quite yet. Sticky Napalm stacking up, but they will not pursue. Fada just a little bit too weak to try and press forward. So, well, still,
that's a good kill.
Yeah, very successful for Sigma.
That's what's going to start tipping the tides in this mid lane. That first kill on one of either the TA or the Beastmaster, and that's where Fata's got a big advantage. Sand King bottom lane is going for an epicenter here on the Bristleback, and this looks like we may see Bignum go down. He's just level, like, this is where if he's a normal level 4 Bristleback, he has 2 points in his passive. He's a lot scarier. He does get the return kill on Sand King, so that's not bad there, but if he had 2 points in the Bristleback, that could even save his life.
Yeah, very true. So still 5-2 for Sigma at the 6-minute mark. They are picking up some momentum, at least continuing to pick on the Bristleback. And this Sand King, although he did spill right there, he still has very impressive farm. And Blink Arcanes probably by the 12-minute mark or so, depending on how active he's going to be in the next few moments. Chomi will grab the 6-minute rune, which is a regeneration. Already Power Treads out on the TA. And how's Fada doing? He hasn't picked up anything quite yet. Still pulling up that goal. He has about 1,200 in savings. He may be looking to grab the Blink. Aloha Dance will throw a stun. Mad is nearby.
Well, they
Nightmare.
toggle the sleep between the line. They're just toggling it to retreat. It's like you just take turn toggling it, you retreat a bit, then you toggle it back, and it's like this domino effect retreat.
Well, it worked for
It's
him
kind of
there.
cute.
Yeah, cheeky.
They had no way to get it off unless they had used either axes or raw. But I think he was actually out of mana until he used a bottle charge.
Yeah. This is when Beastmaster gets really scary, though. Sitting level 7, he's got Primal Roar up. 3rd point in Call of the Wild, so he can do some pretty serious damage here. TA needs to be careful. If she gets caught in a roar without refraction on, especially with the Bane nearby, they'll probably have enough burst damage to just take her down, I think, between the Brain Sap, Wild Axes, and damage from Roar, plus the Greater Boar and all the right clicks. It adds up pretty quick.
Yep. Well, as things stand here, looks like Miggle's still around this mid lane with the smoked up Bane. So, like you said earlier, if you want to catch him without a roar, he's definitely dead. And even with without a refraction, even with a refraction up, he still could very well go down to this gank. Firefly will eat through the refraction so fast, and then Lasso now up as well. Miggle leaks some experience, got his level 6. This is a dead TA if TA comes in to try and even just draw the creep aggro off the tower, and it looks like Chomi's going to do just that.
Yeah, good game sense from Chomi. He was far back, but just probably was not anticipating a 3-man rotation. Firefly, Lasso, they won't have the damage, though. Wow.
It's still going for this one. I think Chomi will still go down to Miggle here. No Flame Break. Oh, there's a Hex, but the Firefly will finish him off.
Yeah, they did finish off the Beastmaster as well. Now Miggle's in some trouble as Starladder rotates back. It will be a 2-for-1. Sigma overcommit for that TA. And great response from Q and Sane as they do punish it and find a favorable exchange.
Yeah, they can kill him with their refraction on, but they'll die to do so with all the TP rotations. So, smart play. And this also gives a lot of space for your Bristleback at bottom lane, who really needs the space because he needs to get like level 7, level 8, just so he can get the points in Quill Spray as well as his Bristleback, and even just farm some basic items to get him a bit tankier. He goes for a bottle, which I don't really like. I think I would prefer to just see get like a Vanguard and just tank up, or with even just some early treads.
And looks like Sachka could be in a little bit of trouble. We see rotations from both sides kind of into the Radiant jungle here as there's a battle for the top rune. It is a haste, and Fada does pick it up.
Yeah.
Man, I thought an engage was going to break out, but
No.
it appears not. So
Sand King does have his epicenter though, so.
Oh yeah, and we see a ping coming onto Starladder. Maybe they'll try and set something up. Sand King a little bit low on mana, has the arcanes. He does have just enough for a Burrow Strike epicenter combo if he wants to try to drop it on the Starladder.
And he's got Visage here to back him up, so that's a lot of damage up with Soul Assumption and Familiars. Slardar needs to be careful not to engage here.
And again, good game sense from FN. He will back up to the tower, feeling that he could be under some pressure. Sand King could be bait. He will not step too far forward, at least not for now. So I do agree with you, though, about Bristleback. I think the bottle might be a little bit of a questionable choice here. He is just so squishy, even though he had that early momentum. He's just not that tanky force that you normally think of when you consider Bristleback.
It looks like he just got it because it helps him clear the Ancient stack because you need more mana. We're going to see the initiation top. Epicenter Burrow Strike. FN just gets destroyed. They set it up with a Nightmare. They get the first kill. They make it Bignum as well. He's TP'd in. He's actually pretty tanky. They're going to go for a different target, and that's going to be the Dazzle. Easy pickings for Sigma. They get two. Hey, about to say Paris, one more quill. That's going to be the death of him. They needed the Burrow Strike to get the kill there, but for Sand King, he was just too low on HP to chase.
Yeah. Now Sigma will be forced to retreat. Some of their
Visage is stuck.
Yeah, no port. Maybe Pos can survive if he's...
Maybe he can even kill the Lion if he gets... He needs to use that Familiar.
Oh, Finger of Death to finish him off. Pos will pay for it, but still a good exchange for Sigma. They handled that very well. Like you said, great setup with the Nightmare, and then channeling the Epicenter. That Dazzle, he didn't have any time to react. He poured it in, got roared, and just dropped instantly.
I think it's like his mindset's like, hey, Bristleback's TPing in before me. They'll like as soon as they kill the first hero, they'll go on the Bristleback, and then I'll come in and get a few key disables off. But they just ignored the Bristleback and took him out instead.
Yep, very smart play. Now up top, Bane, he is level 6, perhaps looking to initiate onto the Lion with a Familiar nearby. Won't find it, takes a Hex, and now he will retreat as support is coming in to save their Lion. Blink Dagger also up on the Bat Rider, so good timing for Miggle's Blink, and this is where things might get a little bit scary for Team Insane. The initiation tower for Sigma is getting quite potent. Paris, after this tower kill, will also have his Blink Dagger on the Sand King.
Yeah, the double blinks means it's going to be hard to defend. Miggle almost actually catches Chomi mid with a Blink Lasso, but without Epicenter, that's a pretty tricky kill to actually get.
Yeah, I think mostly just posturing there to secure the tower kill and try and avoid a deny.
Yeah.
So if that was his intention, he was successful. Sand King did grab the last hit, so at last that is his Blink Dagger. Speaking of Vanguard, though, FN has now picked one up on Starladder.
This is... I don't mind the Slardar Vanguard. I think one of the few heroes it's quite good on, but this is a game where you need that BKB up as fast as possible. And the problem is now, he can either go BKB, but at the same time, you also want to Blink for initiating in. So I think this would have been a better game, go for a Blink BKB type build.
Agreed. I think Blink first in this game would be so important, not only for initiation, but just counter initiation.
Yeah.
Now that there's 2 Blinks on the side of Sigma, if Starladder can sit back, it can make things a little bit easier. Down bottom, speaking of Blink initiates, will be used on the Bristleback once again. Follow-up damage coming out. They won't have enough to bring him down. Miggle falls. Sand King goes down, as well as Pos. It's a 3-0 turnaround. Team Insane with some momentum. All of a sudden, we've got a tie game here, gods.
That's Bristleback for you. You do not try and go on this guy.
Yeah, and that's a Bristleback with a bottle. He'll now finish up his Vanguard, but wow.
Vanguard Gaming from the Dire site. 2 Vanguards online.
Yeah. And, ooh, Lion maybe in a bit of a sticky
There's
situation.
a Blink Axes if
Double
Beastmaster
Boar.
wants to use it.
Oh, yeah, Blink Dagger up on Beastmaster as well. That's 3 Blinks they have now at the 12-minute mark.
Yikes, yeah.
Basically, all of Sigma's gold has been invested in Blink Daggers right now. Other than that, it's just Blinks and a medallion.
I feel like they don't really need the Beastmaster Blink Dagger. I mean, you talk about when do you rush Ags. If you've got teammates who can initiate, which you do with both Bat Rider and Sand King, at some point you're just getting... Like, you have it's this incorrect ratio of, like, initiators to damage output to survivability. Like, because Blinks, like, they're used to initiate, you're not really they're not gonna help you survive. We saw it bottom lane when they died past the tier 1. They just melted there, and like that's why if you have a mech, if you have like just a Necrobook for a bit of extra damage output, whatever it may be, it's going to help more than having triple Blink Daggers.
Yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, it's kind of like that opportunity cost of Blink Daggers. The first one is really valuable. The next one is not quite as valuable as the first, and by the time you're at the third one, you've gotten diminishing returns on the value of that Blink Dagger.
Especially in the early game where like 2,000 gold is a lot of money to be putting into just your very first item.
That's basically a mech. And
Yes.
if you want to take early team fights, this has been a pretty aggressive game, 17 kills in 13 minutes, and I think a mech would go a long way for Sigma if they had one up right now based on their aggression.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can try and get this tier 1 bottom tower. Looks like top lane it's going to be Bane getting caught out here. Mad goes down, and
Yeah, not much he could do there. It was a 2v1 with Lion's crowd controls and TA. Plenty of damage to secure that kill. And it appears, I think TA might be pulling up for a fast blink as well. She has power treads, bracer. Might be just going into drum, but hard to say. Saving up that gold. Paris off the mark with the burrow strike, but that's all right. He will just blink back.
yeah. Well, at this point, Sigma need to be careful because Q Insane are just going to play a kind of more farming, play for the late game style of play because Sigma have no late game really.
Yeah.
And that's where Bristleback will just farm and stack Ancients for as long as possible. Sigma have not really stopped him doing that. They do scout him out using the Hawk here, but not really in a position. Oh, Fata from the low ground will steal one of the big dragons. So he steals 200 gold, which is
It's pretty
nice little pickup.
Yeah, not bad. You know, I'll take it.
Insane Gaming are going Roche here. This is ballsy against a Beastmaster. They don't know where the Hawk is. The Hawk is not up, it looks like, but so much minus armor between the goo, amp damage, meld.
Yeah.
Roche is at minus 17.
But here you go, Visage Familiars as well as the Hawk. The Familiars, oh no, they won't check the pit. That's just a little bit of sloppy play right there.
Roche is it's dead now. It looks like Sigma aren't going to get there in time. They get the tier 1 bottom tower though. That's the Familiars were heading bottom just to help get the tier 1 bottom tower, but they don't consider Roche yet.
Yeah, and that's just an error in judgment from Sigma right there. With Q-Pad having so much Q Insane having so much minus armor, being dire, and all of them missing off the map, except for the Dazzle. It was smart to keep Inkvisitor in lane, to keep that like, well, they're not all in the Roche pit. Maybe they're just farming in the jungle. They'd probably want their Dazzle there to help out with the heal. It was a nice little mind game coming out from Insane, but I think Sigma should have been maybe a little bit more wise given how many scouting tools they have.
Yeah, they do get 2 tier 1 towers, both bottom and top out of it, so it's not
the
too
worst
big of a
trade,
loss, and
yeah.
they can still fight into the ages. Like, they are actually the much stronger lineup at this point in the game. They'll have a Veil soon on your Sand King. Batrider's almost got his 4 stuff. Their item progression, as well as just their current levels, they've got, I would say, the slightly stronger lineup until we look towards maybe Starladder getting up his Blink Dagger. And
BKB, until BKBs come out,
Yeah.
basically. That's going to be the big turn. But here we go. Initiation out onto Aloha Dance. Miggle will go ahead and grab him in the lasso. Lion, not a bad target to take down before he can get the finger off, and they will secure that kill. Shallow Grave comes out a bit early on the Bristleback, and Starladder, he gets focused on as well. So far, a 2-0. Well, scratch that. As Sand King gets picked off, they will continue to pursue forward. Chomi gets caught inside of a Nightmare. Miggle trying to pour it out. That ain't happening. That'll make it a 2-for-2. And Insane
Wow.
with a surprisingly good hold right here.
yeah, past TP's that Lion was the hero of that fight. He was one getting caught off, but right before he died, he threw an Impale and cancelled the Fiend's Grip, because when they engaged in, they focused the Lion while Fiend's Gripping the Bristleback, and they wanted to kill the Bristleback, but they couldn't kill him because the Fiend's Grip got cancelled. Now they're going to lose the Bane as well into the tier 1 mid tower. Paris could be in a bit of trouble here if they keep on stacking quills, but it looks like they want to get away from this tier 1 tower and Chomi.
Paris bought back for
in
this
trouble.
too. So they
Yikes.
need to grab something. They will
Yeah.
get a recovery kill onto Chomi. I guess that kind
an
of makes
Aegis.
it worth it. It's just the Aegis, yeah. Aloha Dance throws another stun as well. Paris could be in trouble once again. There's the Finger of Death. One more auto attack.
Not gonna
TA
find him.
will pursue, but
Oh.
great fogging. Paris getting very aggressive here. He actually takes the heal from Dazzle. Out comes the Shallow Grave. TA surviving for now. And
One.
Poss is in big
man.
trouble. Wow.
He ended up going down to the Soul Assumption as the Grave wore off. And this fight's going to rage on. The Epicenter from Sosh. He's still alive, but not for much longer. One more Quill Spray. I think will finish him. Nope, needs one more. And now he's on the run. Can he get a Blink? A Burrow Strike? Anything taken away? He will. Paris will survive this.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Inkvisitor and FN in big trouble. Primal Roar comes out on the Starladder, secures that kill, or does it? Oh no, they thought he was dead, but the Vanguard is just too much. He'll slither away. They wanted to try and hop up and grab another kill. He's still not
Get
out
up
of the
the slow.
clear. The Quill will connect. This is one elusive Starladder. If only he had a blink. Sprint is now worn off. He will survive, but Sigma looking a little bit sloppy here.
Yeah, well, the Sand King surviving the Bristleback Quill Sprays is the big thing, because he actually came back in, secures that kill on the Starladder, and without him, that would have been a lot trickier to get, but they find the kill, they get themselves, they end up winning that fight. That's the big thing there, and that was a fight against an Aegis. Q Insane just didn't quite have the coordination to focus anyone down. Like so many of Sigma's heroes survived on such low HP. The Sand King did, and multiple other heroes as well. It was.
So would you say that Sand King buyback was worth it?
It was, well, it was in the end, but it was something where, like, at first it looked like what did they lost the fight. It was over.
Yeah.
Q Insane just kind of re-engaged though.
Yeah, the whole idea, I think he bought back, poured it in. He wanted to save his Bane when they dove on him on the tier 1. That was not a particularly successful endeavor, but still, it ended up working out like you mentioned. Initiation in the mid, long-range Earth Spike connects on the Bane. Follow-up won't be there, though, and they will just retreat as support comes in from Sigma. Paris in the front lines. Like you mentioned, Veil of Discord not too far off the mark for Sand King. He is also a level 11 now, so the level 2 Epicenter is a reality. Starladder up top.
These heroes, like Epicenter alone, just is going to be struggle to get kills necessary. Like your Bristleback's going to be working on a pipe. He's almost got that with his Vanguard, and once pipe's up, a lot of Sigma's damage output's going to be negated.
Yeah, pipe, and then again, BKB will be a reality in this game for at least the Starladder and TA, if not the Bristle as well. TA did go drums into Yasha, so not pulling for that Blink like I had suggested. And Starladder, he's got about 1,300. I have a feeling he'll want to grab Blink before he goes into BKB, which, not a bad idea. I think they still need some sort of mobility tool.
Yeah, and the BKB can be countered. I still think he wants to go for it against like the Sand King especially. And but there is, there's 3 ultis that go through BKB, so BKB just doesn't on paper look fantastic.
Yeah, Starladder gets caught inside the lasso, Epicenter to finish him off. Meanwhile, Fada goes straight for Inkvisitor. He'll take the Finger of Death, gets Hex as well, and he will fall. That's going to make this a 1-for-1. Big Num, he'll get caught inside of the Nightmare. And now Sigma, they're on the defensive. We'll see another nice stun coming out from Sachka. And now they might be able to turn this around. Aloha Dance is the target of choice. Line falls. Fiend's Grip out on Chomi. They've got plenty of bursts. They'll finish him off. Now we'll see Big Num try and pursue onto Miggle. He'll grab that kill as well. A very even exchange, but now more kills coming out. Chomi does end up falling in the end after almost getting picked off, or almost getting the kill on Sachka, pardon me. It will end a 2-for-3. Sigma take the advantage, but by a hair.
Yeah, not by too much. Separating the two teams. It may not be over just yet. Mad gets
Bane
found in the jungle. Inkvisitor is going to be slept up, though, so that kind of ends that. And yeah, not much separating these two teams right now, at least in these big clashes. And this is Q-Insane without like a few key items. The Blinks, the BKBs. Even though there's these 3 ultis that go through BKB, it's still a good idea just because all their damage is magic damage output. So sure, you may get disabled by a Roar, by a Fiend Script, but you're still going to be alive as long as you cast your BKB. So getting disabled isn't the end of the world as long as you're still like not getting nuked down.
Yeah, very true. Now, following that team fight, it appears some more items have come out. Fada is working towards a Necronomicon. Well, he's working towards a level 3 Necrobook. He's got level 2 up already. Veil of Discord now complete on the Sand King. And Pass on the Visage is working towards his Ag Scepter and has the Point Booster as well as Ogre Club complete already. Miggle with his Force Staff up as well. Now on the Dire side, they've made some scary item pickups as well. You mentioned that Pipe on Bristleback being a big milestone for Team Insane, and it is up. So this next team fight will be much easier, and if they can use that Pipe before the Epicenter, it will mitigate some of that damage coming from the Sand King. And that's about it. TA has bought the recipe for the BKB, also has the Mithril Hammer, or pardon me, has the Ogre Club waiting for the Mithril Hammer. So BKB will be a reality for the Templar Assassin before too long here.
Yeah, this will help Q-Insane quite a bit, and I think we'll have to see Starladder without picking up an Ogre Club. He'll be looking for a Blink Dagger, so around that Blink Dagger time, they'll be pretty strong. But the problem with this Starladder is he has had no item progression. He got this Vanguard a good 8 minutes ago, maybe, and he's not farmed anything since then. He also has not even leveled up in like the last 4 or 5 minutes. He's really been struggling as of late.
Yeah, he had a lot of momentum early on, but it's definitely fallen off. He's 1, 4, and 6. And in these team fights, he's actually been picked off early in the exchange, so he's one of the first to die, and then he doesn't get all of that XP and experience. Or pardon me, XP and gold from the follow-up kill. So rather unfortunate. Now he's in big trouble. Epicenter, Burrow Strike, the follow-up from Poss. And this should be a pretty easy kill. Familiar just barely on the mark, but still it is enough to grab that kill. Though it's not over yet. Support coming in. Aloha Dance and Big Num want some vengeance. Burrow Strike. They'll actually turn it around on the Lion. That'll make it a 2-for-0. Poss tries to pour it out. He'll make it just barely, but he does. Inkvisitor, now he'll get stuck inside of the lasso. Paris doing some damage. He will survive long enough to get off the grave, but he's standing in fire. They'll keep him stunned. That's it. Say goodnight, Dazzle. It's now a 3-for-0 as Bristleback will hang around trying to stack up the quills. I don't think he'll be able to grab a solo kill and could potentially be in some trouble. Bane, yeah, meanwhile, he gets picked off in the mid. But
Tremy will get a haste rune as well. Miggle needs to be a bit careful here. He gets hit before he can blink. Gets roared now, so it looks like...
Say goodbye to your refraction.
Yeah, Sigma are just going to use the roar to retreat. They're not going to look to re-engage. And Sosh, whoop, TP, no TP. Make up your mind.
Still, 1 for 3 across the map there. Great
Yeah.
exchange for Sigma.
Yeah, really nicely played there. Pass especially on the Visage, timing the TP out, and he just narrowly managed to escape. He provided a lot of damage output, then got away from that Bristleback. And one of the problems Bristleback has is finishing off heroes. He can't really lock them down too well, and those TPs out is something that can't really be dealt with.
So, Starladder, once again, his progression towards this blink slowed down. He will move into the Ancients here, which will be enough to grab his blink. I'm assuming that's what he's pulling up for. If he wanted the BKB first, he probably would have just gone ahead and picked up that Ogre Club to up that
He's just
HP
like, you can see
buffer.
how squishy he can be, and that's because he doesn't have BKB. He died to a Sanking Barrow Strike and Visage Soul Assumptions, like 2-3 Soul Assumptions with the disables, and he was straight up dead.
Yep, they needed Bristleback there for the pipe. The pipe is only good if you can use it on your allies.
Yeah, I feel like this is where Starladder almost needs BKB more than Blink, just to stay alive in the fight, because he's going to be blinking in and melting.
And speaking of pipe, Big Num will be the one initiated on. They'll crowd control him before he can get the pipe off, but the Primal Roar won't be there to follow up. He'll survive. Yep, and they force him to burn the pipe, though. Now, Aloha Dance taking a lot of damage. He gets the Shallow Grave, and they force BKB out onto Chomi. That will be his first BKB charge. Lion takes the Primal Roar. First to fall in this fight. Now they'll initiate onto Bane. He actually uses the Fiend Script before he goes down and gets killed just about instantaneously. So a 1-for-1 exchange. Starladder showing off that shiny new blink. Connects with 3 on that Slitherine Crush. A lot of follow-up damage. Sachka will be able to Burrow Strike away. Miggle, not so lucky. He will fall to the wrath of the Starladder. Now Pos, he's in trouble as well. Poison Touch to set it up. Slitherine Crush, everything else under the sun. And now it's a 1-for-3 the other way.
The question, I said he maybe needs a BKB, but when you hit 2 like 4-man Blink crushes in one team fight, that is absolutely huge play from FN. The big problem for Sigma is, though, they had to blow the Primal. They didn't have to. They accidentally blew the Primal Roar on the Lion. He was no HP Grave trying to TP out. The Sanking Burrow Strike actually cancelled his TP so they could kill him, but it came at the same time as the Roar. So they used both Burrow Strike and Roar on that. And Sanking, his Blink cancelled. He can't actually get into the Roshan pit. He was looking for a big Epicenter Blink Burrow Strike, and that would have killed your Starladder. Starladder for sure would have been dead there, and Bristleback he's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, that was an insane play from Big Num. A great read to scout it out, use the quills, and although he didn't get the kill, he stopped him from coming in and not only killing the Starladder, but maybe even snatching the Aegis as well if he had timed it properly. Oh boy, Sigma now, they seem to be in a little bit of trouble. As we mentioned, they don't have a traditional carry. They have a gold lead, but I'm not sure how much longer they can hang on to it. Q and Sane are just starting to get a bit too powerful.
Yeah, the thing is, against a lineup like this on Sigma, all you have to do is tank up, because you just get more and more raw HP, magic immunity as well, and suddenly it gets to a point where they can't actually kill you. They don't have right-click damage to go through all that. They can't get minus armor of their own, and you have the plus armor from the Dazzle Weave, so all Q and Sane really need is just to mass raw HP, which is where like a team like Empire with their Dazzle go like double bracer type builds, and I think this is the kind of build that Dazzle even could be going for. Pick up casual vitality boosters, anything to just tank up as much as possible. And that's what in general we're seeing across the board from Q and Sane.
Yeah, Dazzle will go ahead, earn first, and then into a Force Staff. He does now have a Gem of True Sight that he stole from Bane. That's another big turning of the tides that we didn't mention from that last fight. Mag got picked off. He was carrying a gem, and now it's in the hands of Q and Sane. So one of those things that doesn't reflect on the gold graph, but furthering the momentum for our Dire team. See, the gold was about 7,500 in Sigma's favor, now dipping down to 5,000, but the experience graph may be even more telling. Very back and forth in this game, but it is completely zeroed out at the moment.
Yeah. Well, at this point, yeah, definitely give the edge towards Q and Sane. I think Sigma could be in a small bit of trouble here, even with their gold lead. A lot of that's just coming on the back of these towers, and these Radiant towers, none of them have been taken down. These are kind of like big money bags waiting to be taken. If Sigma lose another team fight, you'll see Q and Sane like manage to push out. Tier 1s are pretty easy to push down. They don't have backdoor protection. They don't have much to keep them alive, and that's where you see Q and Sane win a team fight, get a few towers, and suddenly they're on par or even really far ahead.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. 5,000 gold is nothing when you consider all the tier 1s are still standing. Really good point, my friend, even though the money bag analogy, I've never quite heard it put that way before. But you're right, they are basically just money waiting to be earned.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you're against this really fast push out. Like you lose all 6 outer towers and you're only behind by like a manageable amount. As soon as you win a team fight, Like
Yeah,
you take towers to follow it up, and you're back to even.
Oh, Primal Roar comes out onto Ink Visitor. Axes as well. They want to try and finish him off, but a beautiful Hex onto Miggle. They'll just finger him, and down he goes. Easy peasy. Well done by Q Insane. Now Sigma in full retreat mode. FN himself looking for an opening, but Paris will be able to burrow strike back to safety. Good use with the familiars, and they will minimize their losses, but not the way Sigma wanted that to go.
They get the amp damage on him. He needs a burrow. He's got burrow strike in a few seconds to maybe go down to the low ground.
He's still in big trouble. They'll have the stuns, minus armor. See you later.
I think it was a bash from FN, followed up by a crush. If he didn't get that bash, he probably burrow strikes to the low ground, but, well, a bit of luck goes the way of Q Insane, but either way, like, you're bound to make your own luck when you play this well, and we're seeing Q Insane just find the openings they need. That Hex, though, on the Batrider. Yeah.
That was great reaction. Dazzle is a great first target if you can initiate with the Primal Roar, then have the crowd controls to finish him off before you can get the Shallow Grave. I see what Sigma were going for, but Lion was just on point.
And at this point, I'm not sure entirely what the plan will be for Sigma as far as getting back into this game. This is really tricky to fight.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. They will try and make a hold here at their tier 1 in the mid. Glyph comes out. Show me. He gets put to sleep, but BKB wow, feigns grip as well as the lasso while he's BKB.
Doesn't matter.
Absolutely no damage coming out. He's standing in the fire, and it makes no difference. He will still fall, but wow, where's the team? I'm surprised they all ran away after that.
He got left on an island there all by himself, but getting the it's sure they've got counter BKBs, but that really goes to show, like, in a team fight, if he gets his BKB off, they can't really dedicate that much time to killing him. So that's why these BKBs are good pickups, although it won't actually save your life if you're 1v5 under a tower.
I think that would have been a lot different, though, if Insane were just in a position to try and help him out. When I was watching that, I was like waiting for the blink in from Starladder to Slitherine Crush and save his buddy. But
Starladder looked like it was pretty much out of mana, but if he had 2 or 3 heroes backing him up, that fight would have been turned around because they committed
so
way
much
too
to
much.
BKB. Yeah, that's interesting. So both sides of it there. They will find a free kill, and Sigma, they keep their towers safe and sound. Tier 1 in the mid still with a lot of hit points. The bottom tower is basically untouched, and top tier 1 at just about half hit points. Q Insane just putting absolutely no pressures on structures this game, though.
Yeah.
They really don't need to. Big Num now with an Ogre Club in tow, probably going for a BKB, though it could also be a Halberd. I think BKB makes a lot more sense here, but
no right-click damage, really. So I mean, Sanjin Yash is, I guess, a slight possibility, but yeah, it's going to be a BKB, I think. BKB is just such a great pickup. There's going to be another pickup at bottom lane, a Blink Lasso going out on the Starladder. They've got a Roar here for this as well, but he gets the crush off. Sand King comes in with a Burrow Strike. They'll use all their ultis in the world for this, but there's an Aegis. I think they actually decide it's not worth it. Not for the Aegis. Oh, they get it.
Oh, God, that was the Necronomicon unit.
Yeah.
He killed it, and it just killed him, so that was a waste of the Aegis there a little bit.
Yeah, not ideal. Actually, Roshan Aegis was about to expire. It was like...
Oh, okay. So maybe it was intentional.
It was 10 seconds left. So.
Okay.
Well, intentional or whatever it may be. It's like a non-factor.
Yeah. So now he'll press forward.
Being dealt with.
He'll take another one. Was there only one Necrobook?
I thought there was... Who else is Necrobook?
No, maybe it wasn't the Necrobook that killed him. I thought it was, but Slardar will fall. Bane gets picked off as well as this fight starts to break out. Paris, he'll be in some trouble as he tries to do the Sandstorm. It won't be enough to keep him alive. Lion also gets picked off in the fray. It is a 2-for-2, and this fight will start to settle down. That was a 4v5 as well. Big Num was not in that engage. He will waddle his way over. Miggle, he's stuck in the trees. He'll pay with it. A triple kill coming out for the TA.
Yeah,
great news for Insane.
If TA can pick up a Desolator now, or even a crit, whatever you go, it's just going to be such an increase to TA's damage output. He TP's top because of these familiars, which is split pushing. And this is what Sigma, their main thing they can do right now is split push. They can't, well, they can kind of try and take these team fights, but the split push is going to be a really strong thing they can do. They've got Necrobooks, they've got Boots of Travel on the Beastmaster, they've got familiars, but in general, these team fights are going to start swinging the way of Insane Gaming just because of the BKBs, the pipe. Having all these levels now, they've actually caught up and have the much stronger team fight suddenly.
Yep. 24-24 at the 32-minute mark. TA will now grab the Desolator following her Black King bar. So you thought she was hitting hard before, now add even more minus armor to the mix.
Yeah.
Things just got scary, gods.
I don't know how Sigma at any point in this game will be able to breach the high ground. They haven't really got the damage output. They can't really engage in a team fight. Maybe if like BKBs are all on cooldown, or they win a big team, like they essentially have to win a team fight, Q and Saint they can push, but
Yeah, and I was just thinking maybe if they can take third Roche, Aegis, and Cheese, they can
Yeah.
do something. But the next logical step is, well, how are they going to do that? I mean, Q and Saint have such a good Roche lineup. They're on the dire side. They've got a ton of minus armor. I don't think Sigma can reasonably expect to grab third Roche.
it'll be really tricky for them to do, and they can if they get in there with the TA Starladder, Roche will drop in less than 10 seconds, is my guess. So, and for Q Insane, like this is even their supporting cast is looking at getting some scary items soon. A line with a blink is a pretty big deal. Like he's at 1,500 gold almost, and having that blink initiation to just blink in, make sure you can immediately cancel the Fiend's Grip. Like, because the Fiend's Grip is going to go on these BKB core heroes, and you need to cancel that as soon as possible. To do that, you need the Blink Dagger. So Aloha Dance will be looking at that soon. He's going to get caught out, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, Miguel will try and pull him to the low ground, but a little bit off the mark, and
I think he tried to have him take damage from the Ancients there, but he could have actually brought him to the low ground.
Yeah, but Paris wasted his epicenter on that, and now FN, he'll go to initiate. Burrow Strike doesn't connect with a stun, and Sachka, well, he will blink away. But yeah, again, Sigma looking a little sloppy there.
Yep. Beastmaster mid lane. Get caught up by a poison touch here. He's got 4k gold, so maybe now you think about the Aghanim Scepter for the lower cooldown in the long range. Other options, you go for something like an Assault Cuirass, because your team's going to need armor. Assault Cuirass or Shiva's armor isn't bad for dealing with this armor strat.
Yeah, I think I almost like the AC more, because Sigma, they're already going to struggle to try and break high ground and finish off the last bit of structures. So AC will not only make their pushing a little bit easier if they have that opportunity, but also deal with the minus armor. I think it just makes a little bit more sense. Although the reduced cooldown on Primal Roar is pretty nice.
I can use it a bit more freely just to go for even you find a support hero on their own, you don't feel bad about using a Roar when you've got an Aghanim Scepter.
Right. 45 seconds at level 3, so it's pretty short. Still at that point where you can't really use it twice in a fight, though, which is kind of why I like right now I'm at the point, I think they just need to work on their team fight a bit.
Sladder's going for an Assault Cuirass over BKB. I don't mind this. I think the BKB is probably a little better. Just like we saw at mid lane how helpful BKB was in keeping TA alive for an extra, 10 seconds, because that's the duration of the BKB, but it just meant that he took no damage during the Fiend's Grip.
Yeah, as well as the last.
The Assault, this Sladder's just very squishy. Even with 1,800 HP and Assault Cuirass, he's going to be entirely relying on the Dazzle Grave to keep him alive.
Yeah, I think even just a casual cloak, if Sardar wants to go for this AC strat, I think a casual cloak could help out here.
He runs out of. He doesn't have the item slots is the main problem there, and he wants that third Aegis. He's already got, he can pop a TP in one slot and Aegis in another, so he hasn't really got any item slots for a cloak.
Fair enough, fair enough. Roche has respawned now, and of course this is third Roche. Cheese is online.
They see it with the trap too, so this, I guess, as soon as they see Sigma in either bottom or top lane or something, they'll just go take it. For now, there's 5 missing, so they don't want to go for it.
Well, they had the right idea. They did just do a 5-man smoke in mid. They moved around the dire jungle looking for a pick-off so that they could take a 5v4 on the field and move into Roche. The right idea, but unfortunately for Q Insane, Sigma were just a little bit too keen on their map awareness, and no one got picked off. But still the right idea. I like what Insane are going for.
Yeah, they see the mid now, so if they want, they can even just pop into Roche, take a quick Aegis, but it's still risky. They don't want to do anything too out there that they could get punished for.
Yeah, and they're in a good position right now. Let's take a glance at the golden experience. A very minimal gold lead, and experience about 6,000 in their favor. So they're in good shape. They know that they have the late game. They don't need to press their luck. They can afford to be a little bit more patient here.
Yeah.
And they know that Sigma aren't really farming all that much right now anyhow, and even if they were,
And they're expecting this Hulk to often be on Roshan, or at least near the Roshan pit. So they're going to go in anyways. They'll get scattered, but Roche will drop, and drop very fast. Sigma can't get there in time. This Aegis is already gone.
The I believe, minus 30. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sigma will just move into the top tier 3 tower. One of these good offense is the best defense type strategies, it seems, with all the summons between the familiars, the necro units, and the boar. They get that tower down to about a third HP very quickly, so they will need to back off. As
they don't want to fight this insane gaming team with an Aegis. Slider's just going, he finds pass. Great blink stun. They catch him out. They had the ward for vision, so they knew he was TPing there. Just a one hero pick off on a Visage, though, so not the biggest kill. That's your 4 position support, and his familiars can still roam around the map and split push. So
yeah, that's true, but still things looking very good
Yes.
for Insane. They got a free Roche right there. They kept their tier 3 alive, and they got a recovery kill. And also Pos wasted a TP trying to make it out. So maybe they could have grabbed a few more kills following that defense. Now they will translate this into a tier 1 tower kill as well. I'm not really sure what Sigma can do at this point. I mean, yeah, they can try and rely on split pushing to make Insane's life a little more difficult, but all in all, I don't think they'll be able to avoid team fights forever, and Insane are just getting rather tilted at this point.
Q Insane will go around, are going to go around the map, just taking these tier 1s. Then every time they take a tower or two, they're going to have to fall back and defend, because Sigma are going to spend their time split pushing, but that's okay for Insane. As long as they get a tower, defend, push out the lanes, and go for another tower, they can just rinse and repeat this for the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, and they're going to just keep on bringing this gold more and more into their favor. So I don't know what Sigma's plan is to break this. Fata's picked up an Assault Crest, which will help a bit, but that's more if you're 5-manning, and right now, they're not 5-manning at all. They're just completely split across the map, which is kind of the strategy they have to be utilizing.
And speaking of Assault Crest, Starladder has his complete as well. It's sitting on the courier right now, I believe. Yep, there it is. He's got the plate mail, chain mail, and recipe in tow. So pretty even across the board there.
Yeah. I don't know what Sigma just
worry.
TPing all over the map. Like Fata and Miggle, they were both bottom lane, then they both Boots of Trouble top. They're going to look to bring down FN here. Has he got any backup? There's a grave there. That'll keep him alive for quite a bit longer, but this may not save his life. The familiars are there as well. It actually will, so he gets out of there. He's got the Aegis as well. That would have just been an Aegis, and
yeah, but
then immediate blinks out. This is where having these blinks and Boots of Travel is really annoying for Q Insane.
Yeah, they did a good job minimizing losses, but they weren't able to do any sort of a counter kill. Though, Blink is now complete on the Lion, which is further good news for Insane. We were talking about how they could use some more initiation power. So
that's a huge item pickup.
Yep.
Starladder can't be everywhere with his Blink stuns, and Lion's just a much better Blink initiator because he's got Hex as well as Impale. And
that Hex cast time, man.
Yeah, you need both like Starladder and Lion blinking in to deal with these. It's essentially a Rat Dota kind of... It's not really Rat Dota into the fact they're pushing. They're just splitting the map and looking for kills when they can. And that's where you need to kind of counter-initiate. And Starladder alone is not enough of an initiator. You need the line as well. So this Blink to me is like more important than any other item they could get in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and BKB also complete on the Bristleback. And TA upgraded that Yasha into a Manta style, so she is really starting to hit hard now. Hitting for about 250 a pop, maybe a little bit less, but that is potent. Again, with all the minus armor, just one-shots that Hawk. Easy 65 gold right there. So, and that is one of the problems with this kind of summon strategy. They have given Q Insane a lot of gold just in Necronomicon units themselves. That's one thing that Team Insane have done very well, is whenever they see Necro units, they focus them down, and they take that pretty penny. They give a pretty good bounty in this current patch. Yeah. As they well should.
Absolutely, and with H's and Cheese on Insane's side, Sigma, I think, realized, well, we can't really push out. We've got to just sit back and farm. I don't know what they think they can farm for, but it's still the strategy which really fits the situation. Like they're going to just make themselves worse off if they try and push and feed away kills or go for a team fight and just die because Insane have Aegis and Cheese. All they can do is sit back and farm, but I don't know what they're picking up. They're going for another Necrobook on Matt, so his Bane's getting close to a Necrobook 2. Your Visage has a 4-staff and 2k gold, so maybe look at a Boots of Travel there as well. Like Boots of Travel, like just so we can get to these fights, is pretty nifty, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the plan is for Sigma as far as item pickups go. And maybe Beastmaster turns into like a carry and gets like an Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, I mean at this point you just need something. You need some damage. Sand King did go ahead and grab himself a Shiva's Guard, so adding more AoE magic damage to the mix to go with that Veil of Discard. And speaking of BOTs, they are now up on Show Me, playing on the Templar Assassin. And he is slowly but surely taking over in the realms of farm. He's now number 1 on the net worth chart. He surpassed that of the Beastmaster, being played by Fada.
Yep.
So more and more good news for Q Insane. I think they're almost at that point where they can try and roam around and maybe start picking up, try and pick a fight a little bit with Sigma, bring the fight to them. Yeah. They've been on the back foot for most of this game, but now they're in a position to start taking
Blink
control.
Crash on bottom lane,
Ooh,
Paris.
Yeah, here we go.
He's in trouble. He gets a Burrow Strike off, but the TA's here as well. Needs to get the trap, gets the slow, but the Quill Borer makes this kind of hard to chase. They gank a Quill Borer.
Yeah.
That's very very fitting considering the team they're up against. But yeah.
This was a very action-packed game, and now things are just slowing down so much.
neither team can really do anything. Not in the sense where it's like a stalemate, but like for Q Insane, they've got to just keep on pushing out the side lanes, and for Sigma, they just got to keep on split pushing the side lanes. I like Aloha Dance's positioning though. He's looking for this Bat Rider. Not gonna find him just yet. The traps in the trees are also quite nice because they know Miggle's spending a lot of time up in this jungle here.
Yeah,
He's gonna walk. Aloha's gonna find him. Can he get the Hex off in time?
There's
He does
the Hex.
before the blink.
Now, will he have enough damage to try and set something up here?
Slider's climbing, but I think he's a bit too far.
And the Familiars can at least scout this out. Or pardon me,
Aloha's
can at
maybe
least turn it
dead.
around onto
Yeah,
Aloha. Now
bad.
he's in big trouble. Well, FN, he'll come in just in the nick of time. Aloha Dance still disabled.
Off the map he goes.
Yeah, can't even see him. Dazzle comes in the nick of time with a shallow grave, and Lion ports out. So,
Well,
that
that really
Rider.
sums up the state of this game right now. That clash right there is just where we are.
Yeah.
There's an engagement, well, not really an engagement. There's poking going on at bottom lane.
Yep. Fada will bump into the Bristleback. He ports out. Show me. He'll use his BOTs and
The
Wants to
Manta
poke
meant, like,
Fada.
I don't know if Beastmaster thought he could TP in and go for a Roar plus kill with the Necrobook, but the Manta made it so he couldn't get the Roar because he doesn't know right off the bat which is real.
yeah. TA still hanging on to the power treads, even though she has the BOTs up. Now, Dazzle is grabbing an item that I actually really like on this hero. You don't see it too often because it's hard to farm, but Lincoln's Sphere will be a reality. And I do like that choice here against the Bat Rider, Bane, and Beastmaster. And there are a lot of big abilities that you want to try to absorb. And I think Dazzle is a hero well suited for it because, well, the longer he can survive, the better. And now that Lincoln's is more of a utility support item, it just synergizes well with Dazzle's kit. The problem is farming it up. So in a game like this,
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it, not one we see too often.
Yeah, I mean, this game looks like it's one that's going to go 60+ minutes, to be honest, with how things are panning. Like, Insane have had no ability to push out lanes. There's still a tier 1 tower on the Sigma side. As for Sigma, they have no ability to
Break high ground.
break. I want to be. I feel like the brutal honesty is they have no way to win this game. It's
Yeah.
like one of those kind of games where if it's StarCraft 2, people are all trying like, do we just go rematch? Like, is this a draw? With that, this is like there will be a winner eventually. You don't have true stalemates, but
Gods 2014. This is Dota.
this is Dota.
This is Dota.
Dota.
Oh god. But I mean, you're
This
right,
is
though.
serious, Siri. It's Dota.
Can't you see? This is Dota 2.
not
This
talking
is
about-
serious.
I'm not talking about StarCraft, some dead game.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky though because it's one of those things. Sigma, it almost feels like they're just hoping Q
Aloha
Insane
Dance
will
at
make
bottom
a misstep.
lane.
Oh.
Oh, he blinks out.
Nope.
He ran into Soshka. Soshka like shivered, stunned away, and I don't know. And Lion just TP's out as well. So
Yeah. But it almost feels like Sigma are just waiting for Q Insane to make a mistake. Like they know they can't break the high ground.
that's all they can do.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Q Insane to overcommit to Roche, maybe dive a tier 3 or something, and they can get a big team fight. But that won't happen as Mag gets picked off in the jungle here. Dazzle grabs another kill. That's actually just about his Lincoln's. And ooh, look at that blink forward for the Necronomicon unit.
At this point, that's like any money you can get in.
Yeah.
Q Insane are playing it, like the reason there's no action is because Q Insane refused to make a mistake. I think they realized like, guys, how we can't actually lose this game as long as we don't make a mistake. Let's just deal with all this split push. They're gonna see. Ooh, show me at bottom lane could be in a bit of trouble though.
Yeah, he will
Raw
get
and Lasso
lassoed.
gets the
BK Beyond. Oh, the
stun was
epicenter.
too slow.
Oh, no. And now Starladder is joining the fray. And Sachka, he's in big trouble. He's not
Yeah.
going to have an escape vehicle here. Poison Touch comes out as
He's
well.
done.
See
He
ya.
thought if they that would have been 3 ultis for a TA. If they got the Epicenter plus Burrow Strike off before he popped the BKB, I think they could have killed the TA, but that was the only way.
Oh, no.
And they found Miggle.
Got out Miggle as well. The Slithering Crush is off the mark, but they still have plenty of stuns. Oh, God. TA dropping the deeps. And Sigma, what's the buyback?
I wonder if a team has ever called GG when they had tier 1 towers still up. Not saying Sigma should call GG, but like what if?
What if? I don't think they should call it
They still
quite
got.
yet,
They've
but
only lost 2 towers. Well, Navi called GG at when they were versing IG at the TI2 Grand Finals at like 14 minutes in at the tier 2 mid. I don't know if they had tier 1s left. I think they may have had tier 1s left in the side lanes. I'm not sure, but that was like it was 16 kills to nothing.
yeah.
IG were just stomping the hell out of them, and they called GG.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that Team Dog versus EG game the other day that was
Yeah,
only 9
9
minutes in duration, so there were definitely some T1s still sitting in there.
But like, it's more like it's a 47-minute game, and I mean, they're not going to call GG because like you said, they played 47 minutes. They're not going to tap out at 47 minutes when they still got tier 1s left. Like, at this point, late game, any bad decision you can still win the game.
That was a really bad time for that to happen, though, because now Roshan has respawned. This is 4th Roche. Aegis will once again go the way of Insane, and
They
that
got
will be second
double
cheese.
cheese? Yeah,
Yes,
double
the
cheese.
other one was on the Bristle, and... No, it's on Starladder now, and there's still one down. Shomi will go ahead and pick it up. Meanwhile, up top, though...
So they're getting close to getting a tier 3 tower, but this is 50 minutes in.
You said that just so, like, they're getting close to getting a
You
tier
know,
3 tower.
you get the tier 3 tower, then you get, like, spend 10 minutes working on the racks, and then it's like, hey, 6 minutes in, we just got a ranged racks. Like, you can deal with 1 racks down at 60 minutes in.
Yeah, that's the point where even, like, having a lane of Mega Creeps is just not that... It's not that potent. You do enough damage, they're easy to clear up. Dazzle still hanging on to that gem. He sniped from Mad earlier on. He now has a Linken's. Bristleback went ahead and grabbed his Linken's as well, so now he has a pretty well-rounded build. BKB, Linken's, Pipe, and Vanguard, and actually 3,500 sitting in savings. He may just want to grab himself some BOTs. Slardar, what are you working on, Holmes? Not much. He's got about 4,100 gold in savings.
Yeah.
His problem right now is item slots more than anything else.
Insane can go high ground if they push out like all 3 lanes, which is the tricky thing. Because to push out all 3 lanes, they need like a TA pushing out top lane. But as soon as one hero is solo pushing out a lane, that's where they get jumped and killed. So it's this kind of tricky, hey, we need to push out lanes, but we also need to then group as 5 to go high ground. But they can't really be doing both.
Yeah. Well, that tier 1 tower will fall, so unfortunately, gods, you won't fish your wish here and tap out with a tier 1 tower still standing.
Q Insane refused to make a mistake. They're going to go back and defend, so they're just going to keep on playing things safe here. Then maybe a pick off at top. It looks like Aloha. He's been sniped.
Yep, he's been lassoed, burrow
That's
strike
like
in.
the least of Insane's problem. That's actually the safer. It's safer for them to TP out and like have someone get caught out than to try and push as 5 and trade Raxes. Like this is that's actually the safe play. Like feeding your line just to defend bottom lane.
It's true, and it also pulled back the forces of Sigma. It looked like they were going to retreat anyhow, but then it sort of reaffirmed their choice, and yeah, they'll trade line to keep Rax safe pretty much every time.
Yeah, you don't want to even start like we look at the top tower, it's almost down. You don't want to give like even half HP on this bottom tier 3 tower. A long run could make a difference, so they TP back well in time that it takes no damage at all, even if it means hey, you're lying. Poor bugger, he's dead. But
poor bugger.
What do we think? How long does this game go? Like,
over under?
Well.
Whoa! Double Sight the Blaze just picked up for Sigma. So that's
this. These like Lincolns that Q Insane are getting, like there's just so much that goes. I mean, maybe you blow a hex on it, but then you get a lasso, then you get a roar, then you get a second hex.
Yeah. I think easy 60 minutes. I don't think this game is ending within 10 minutes.
If anyone tweet at Beyond the Summit, and if you predict the winning team as well as the minute it ends correctly, I will give you some kind of a prize.
Some sort of undisclosed prize.
I don't know what it'll be. Like, let me check. I'm not logged in my main account, but I have some pretty good mythicals and stuff.
You got some sick rares that you give out.
I have some sick rares, man. No, we're not talking rares. We're talking mythicals here.
Mythicals. So all right, guys, this is serious.
At Beyond the Summit, minute this game ends, as well as the team who wins. So you could say like Sigma win it in 64 minutes, Q Insane win it in 75 minutes. Let us know at Beyond the Summit. I don't even know what I would guess right now.
I would go with Q Insane at 63. That would be my guess if I was participating in said Twitter shenanigans.
Okay.
Well,
I would say 70 plus minutes. But I don't even know who's going to... Q Insane are the ones who are going to be impossible to break, but the way Sigma are playing, like I don't even know for sure they're going to lose at this point.
Yeah. It's true. Those hexes will make a big difference.
To me, this game is like maybe 70-30 in Insane's favor.
I like those odds. I would say maybe a little bit more. I would push it 75-25.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not over. Sigma still have a strong fighting chance.
And this is where late game, one of the things which I love, like after you get a hex, you get refresher. Like this Beastmaster with a refresher, double hex, double raw. Like that is freaking legit right there.
That's see you later, Lincolns. Beastmaster alone can cut.
You can blow a roar on the Lincolns and be like, don't really care. No big deal, guys. Got another roar, got a hex. Got 2 hexes, in fact. Like, refresher Lincolns in ultra late game, I think, is one of the, like, underutilized. It's very underutilized.
You mean refresher hex?
Refresher hex, yeah.
Refresher Lincolns.
Refresher Lincolns. No, refresher hex. Refresher hex on any hero with, like, I mean, Beastmaster has roar. Even, like, a Bane. I mean, Bane's not going to farm, but, like, double Fiend Script. Sand King gets refresher, like 2 burrow strikes in quick succession. His lockdown, he's got, what, 18 seconds of lockdown then? 2 burrow strikes, that's like 4 seconds of stun. You got double hex. So that's another 7 seconds. And then you get like a 3rd burrow strike off because of the cooldowns.
Right.
So you could theoretically disable someone for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's 3 burrow strikes and 2 hexes is what, 13 seconds of lockdown? 14 seconds?
Yeah, that's something about that. That's pretty potent. You're right. Refresher it's a weird item. You're certainly right. We don't see it enough. We only see it on like Tide Hunter, like the big wombo, like you've got a big ultimate, your enigmas, but late game it certainly can come in handy for heroes that just have I mean, even someone like Lion. Just imagine Lion with a refresher. Not that he'll be able to farm it, but still just for the sentiment of in context of what we're talking about.
And
here.
That's where it's like you want double hex. Double Finger of Death is like, it's not that. You don't really have the mana.
I wasn't even thinking about the finger, honestly.
Yeah.
You're right,
it's
though.
his hex.
Yeah, it's all about the hex and the...
Finger's going to be pretty good, because if you ever want to kill someone in Sigma, you're going to need to burst them down. And that's where Finger of Death isn't too bad late game.
Now, this is an interesting play from Insane. They will press this tier 2 down bottom, but their lone defender is this
they're going
Dazzle.
to TP now. I don't think they... Like, tier 2s don't really matter at this point in the game. Like, they need to be TPing soon.
Oh, no. An Ink Visitor, he will fall. Not going to be able to grave. They'll make it back. This tower with only 15 hit points remaining. Can they interrupt Spada? No, it's just Big Num. They've got no interrupt. Aloha Dance just a little too slow to the party.
They got the tier 3 tower, man.
That was, slow and steady. And they'll deny the bottom tier 2. Not a good trade for Q Insane, though.
Yeah. Well, not a great trade. Even if they got the tier 2 tower last hit, like tier 2 towers aren't like
Still
right now. Their base is the most important thing. That was a tier 3 tower that had 200 HP, so it's not a big loss, but it's still annoying.
Yeah.
This whole Sigma strategy is annoying. I love something we haven't talked about yet is the trap placement from the TA. Look at this right side of the map. Ooh. Scouting out for the. This is all for the Bat Rider. Not even. Well. Mostly Bat Rider. But just generally speaking, when you're split pushing, you'll push out the lane and then you hide in the tree. So even someone like Beastmaster, Sand King, they'll often be hiding in these spots where we see traps. So these traps are really smartly placed.
Yeah. Now, Q Insane, they are just stockpiling the cheese. And if this game goes on long enough...
It's not even... They just have no opportunities to use it. There's no team fights.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a team fight in 30 minutes, maybe?
Something like that. I mean,
have we even had a team fight in this game?
Dude, they have 2 cheeses, and Roche will be up again in 2 minutes-ish, pending some RNG here. So, I don't know.
Insane need hexes themselves, I feel like.
I mean, they're at the point where they can open up a cheese shop, man. Like, have you ever seen a team with 3 cheeses?
Oh, man. What kind of cheese is it? What's your thoughts on the cheese?
It's probably...
It looks like it looks like a cheddar.
My opportunity for a nice WoW reference, some nice dwarven cheddar or something.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm sure it's tasty. It sells
that would make a good Dota 2 cosmetic in the store. You get different cheese models.
Ah, now you're onto
cheese,
something.
You want your...
Look at this. Miggle's going to walk right over one of the traps. Oh, maybe they'll see him here flying off the map.
Mad's maybe dead. Nightmares himself. And meanwhile, in the bottom jungle, if you can...
Yep.
I don't know if this is worthwhile. I don't know what you watch. There's action all over the map because of the split push Dota.
There's the finger.
Yeah, he'll use his finger for any kill. He's actually got the cheese himself, which is quite good because Lion has mana problems with level 3 finger.
Oh, up top, Ink Visitor. Dazzle will take a hex, and actually they burn the roar. Not even necessary. Making sure he won't get off the shallow grave, but...
This is that 60-minute range racks I was telling you about. That's going to go down. A bit before 60 minutes, maybe.
Well, they'll chip away at it. We're still working on that slow and steady.
It's worth going for the range racks first, because you're not going to get it in one go, and the melee racks regens HP. So this is permanent damage, and this range racks will go down at some point by constant split push. The melee racks is a lot trickier because it regens, it has higher armor. It's going to take much... You need to be able to have a full force... You need to bring down the melee racks in one go, basically.
Yes, absolutely. But the big breadwinner throughout this entire game and the way this is panning out is this Templar Assassin. There's now a Daedalus sitting in the inventory.
Man.
She hits hard.
What do you get? You can get a new BKB like that. Get your old... Get rid of the old 6-second one, get a 10-second one. But you do need... Obviously, buyback is... Who actually has buyback? Yeah, look at this buyback tab, man.
Everybody except Bane and...
Bristle had it. He just bought something.
Just bought BOTs. So
yeah, he'll farm it before he moves out and does anything risky.
Yeah.
So this game is going to... Everyone who guessed in the 60s, I think you're very wrong. I think we're looking at 70+ minutes here.
You think so? You think my 63 is way off the mark?
With all the buybacks, because at this... How did Q Insane push out? At the same time, Q Insane can't lose because they're in their own base. They're much stronger as a team, and they also have buybacks. So I don't think it'll get to a point where they need to use buybacks, but if they do, they'll easily stay in the game.
See you later, Lion. I don't know if you needed to burn an epicenter on
Meanwhile,
that.
Meanwhile, Miggle's in a bit of trouble here. He's forced to pop his he pops a BKB just to get rid of the amp damage. FN's trying to chase him down, but can't quite find him.
So there's an Ethereal Blade up on Batrider now, but even more startling, there's a Scotty on Visage. And a Halberd. What?
This is
getting a little ridiculous.
This is where Dota gets crazy, man.
Is this Dota?
There's crazy shit happens in Dota, and this is like one of those perfect examples of a game where it's just like, what am I watching?
Yeah, I mean, now Paris, he's in big trouble. They'll finish him off.
This is a game where like pickoffs are going to happen. Everyone on Sigma's just trying to split push or find pickoffs like on heroes defending alone, because Q Insane have to split up between 3 lanes to defend. So both teams are going to just keep getting pickoffs. I don't think we'll see a team fight for a long time. This is just going to be pickoff after pickoff going both ways. Teams don't really need to buy back because there's still lots of heroes alive. Unless a team suddenly gets picked off like 3 or 4 places on the map, they're fine.
Oh, those cheeky familiars. They'll finish off the range tracks.
And Bane got caught up by the Starladder, but Nightmare the Starladder, TP home. It's like, what do you do?
What do you do?
It's neither team can win this game. The 60-minute range tracks. There we go. I'm a prophet this game, Zairi.
You really are.
I'm on point.
Dude, you called that like 20 minutes ago. Like, okay, they'll chip at the tower, they'll chip at the range racks, but that's exactly what happened.
I don't know. This game is just
this is
stuck.
Strange. So NA Starladder is supposed to be starting sometime, but I have a feeling they may just start it in tandem. Has it already begun? I'm not. I
have a look at the schedule. I don't need to watch this game.
But,
I'm reading Twitch chat.
We were already delayed coming into this game because of Steam going down.
We've got 30 minutes.
Oh, we still have 30 minutes?
Actually, no. It looks like it's been pushed back.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, because...
Yeah,
there's no way we're still on schedule with how long this game is. And in the mid lane, we'll see an engage breakout. It will be Lion that falls, but now the counter initiate coming from Insane. Fada, the target of choice, but some huge familiar stuns opening up some... FN? He'll press forward.
Oh, he's got no Aegis or cheese. Obviously, it's buyback.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Starladder, he will fall. Meanwhile, this other fight breaking out. Pos gets picked off.
Oh, the TA is just huge.
As does Bane. She's doing so much damage now.
You can't fight this TA. This TA is the king of any of these fights with his damage output.
Buyback from Starladder as well.
Bit of an unnecessary buyback, but it's like, why not? It's more like, hey, if he can find a kill, it's worth it. Even if not, it was worth the risk and the potential to find a kill. And he's going to go looking for Miggle. Doesn't quite get him with the crush. Can he get an amp damage off? It looks like he can.
Yep.
With the amp?
There it is. Close call.
Possible. Is he gonna? Where'd that even go?
He's
off the map.
Yeah.
He just disappeared. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, there he is. He's down here. Meanwhile, pressing into the base.
Mealer X full HP. Like, this is... Whew. What do you do?
That was... Yeah. I don't know. That's one buyback on cooldown. OTA, BOTs to the mid lane.
I think Visage has to transition into the late game carry for this team. Not that he's going to be much of a carry, but Grave Chill on TA, not bad. Scotty slow.
I mean, yeah.
Let's see some like
Scotty. He's hitting pretty hard in the grand scheme of Visage.
Get a Daedalus.
He's carrying.
Like this is if he gets the money for it, he may as well go for something like a Daedalus.
Is that 5th Roche now? Add another cheese to the pile.
What a fucking game, man! I keep for those of you just tuning in. There is a predictions. I don't know what we're going contest going on. Tweet at Beyond the Summit the minute you think this game will end, as well as the team you think that will win. I imagine there may be multiple people who guess right because we're just going by minute.
You might be out of mythicals by the end of this one, Gods.
I don't know if we'll reward everyone. There'll be at least one mythical. I don't know how many mythical.
Gods has at least one mythical that he wants to get rid of. So tweet at us.
Shitty mythical.
If you have it right, then there's at least a chance that you'll be able to grab it. But here we go. Initiation. In comes the huge epicenter. But BKB already out on Chomi as he gets lassoed in. And this tower's already taken a fair bit of damage. They'll turn him into a little piggy, but this TA is just too tanky. Now they'll try and focus the Dazzle. They will secure that kill. Q Insane, maybe overcommitting here, but now Paris taking a lot of damage. Pos in the front lines. No more kills coming out quite yet.
Ethereal Blade saves Pass. Really nicely played there. FN's in trouble, but he has got the Aegis still, so even if he goes down, he comes back up. Needs some familiar stuns, but it's on cooldown here, and Pass on the run. He's slow. He may just go down here.
And now Sachka under heavy assault, Aloha Dance, as well as Big Num trying to chase him down.
I think,
is this going to be the end of it, or Q
Visage has buyback in 5 gold, so he'll have it soon.
Okay. And maybe FN overstaying his welcome here. Paris and Fada actually doing a lot of damage. There's the buyback from Pos.
Big
Flame break. Yeah, that'll break things up a little bit. Ho, ho, ho. The tier 3 in the mid still standing. There's a lasso out onto the Starladder.
Never-ending team fight. Everyone's just too tanky here. Beastmaster goes in. He will get a kill here. He's got the Abyssal Blade. Oh, man. The carry Beastmaster coming to play. They get the Shiver Slow on Chomi. He pops the BKB. He wants to fight. He's pretty tanky, even with the minus 14 armor. He's got a lot more armor than a lot of these heroes. And Chomi now, he may be in over his head. It looks like he will go down. Finger of Death comes out, brings down one. Sanking for a TA.
And he'll buy back straight away.
Wow.
TA falls. Big Nom, not out of the clear yet. There's the Piggy to finish him off. And Q and Sane get cleaned up.
Fuck was that?
Oh, no. So, buybacks now.
TA's joined the Mushi Club, had over 10k gold.
Wow.
I call it the Mushi Club because Mushi does that, has done that a good 5+ times in his career.
Yeah. And Bristleback did have a buyback as well. He'll burn it. So, Starladder is the only one stuck without buyback right now.
TA needs to buy a new BKB. You can buy a 10-second BKB. The other thing you can do when you have excess gold is buy a refresher. Don't have it in your inventory. Have it on the side so you can refresh your BKB.
Yeah.
So you can... Not so relevant now, but it's more if you have to buy back and your BKB is on cooldown. You pop the refresher.
And then just put it on the ground
Put it on the ground. You have a BKB ready to go.
Right. So we'll see more initiation here. Bat Rider hops forward. BKB on. Does not use the lasso. Big Num in the front lines now. He'll take a Fiend's Grip. He is rather tanky. Pipe still available. Pops the BKB. Epicenter comes out. Another one of these huge team fights. Both sides very tanky. Aloha Dance, the target of choice. Will eat one of those yummy cheeses. And also does get the grave. Throws out a Finger of Death. Still no kills. Finally, Chomi will be the first to fall. This could be the end for Q and Sane right here. Now Aloha Dance in trouble. They'll be stuck without buybacks. This is going to be Elena Rax here, gods.
It sure looks like it. Bat Rider gets the lasso. They bring down Fizz. It's a huge pickup, but he gets the grave off. Can he actually stay alive? Starladder, Blink Crush, he completely off the mark here. And Thata as well as Miggle, they're both low. What's actually going to happen here? The Scardy on pass is doing some work here, but FN's going to right-click him down, finishes him off with the Crush.
Dude, Big Num might be able to turn this around. He's stacking up those spines, or pardon me, those quills. A lot of low-health heroes.
There's a Blink out from Paris, though.
Wow.
It's just too hard to kill the Sigma heroes.
Yeah.
They're just too elusive right now.
And all their racks are still standing. Bottom racks with plenty of hit points. The top melee took some damage, but it'll regenerate. The game continues. 65 minutes in.
This is the most bizarre game of Dota I've seen of the new year and possibly in the last... I don't know the last time I saw a game this weird.
Yeah, you say of the new year like it just turned, but it's been a while. Like this is crazy. This is... Oh boy.
Yeah. Bristleback's going get some carry mode going. Yeah, get Mjolnir up.
I like that here.
Buyback's on cooldown, so he may as well purchase it now. It looks like the courier's going to the secret shop. This is where TA died that fight. If that was a 10-second BKB, TA may have lived. And TA's got 8k gold, not spending it. That's a big mistake coming out from Chomi. He picks up... Oh, he's also going Mjolnir?
Yeah, they're going double
Apparently,
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir's just like legit freaking item right now.
Yeah, well, it's not about the item itself as much as the buff. The static charge is what they're going for because they're...
Does he drop the Lincolns, or what do you think? Because Lincolns is only so useful considering how much lockdown there is.
I think you need the Desolator for the damage.
Or actually, the Mantis I think the Manta illusions are useless. Actually,
like they just get killed so quickly now with all the AOE.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's true. But yeah, like especially in this game because there are so many tanky heroes with your Starladder and your Bristle that are in the front lines. Static charge will add up to an absurd amount of damage, especially with two of them. I actually really like this play from Q and Sane.
Well, he sold the Manta. He bought a new BKB, so he spends his gold. Doesn't have buyback gold, but he's also on cooldown, so he's got 2.5 minutes to farm enough for a buyback. And
he's got 1,500. That's pretty close to buyback anyway. So
Insane also finally used... They had like triple cheeses going. They finally used them all. Like Aloha Dance had that cheese so long that it probably fucking fermented or something. Like, that was just sitting there for days.
The moldy cheese that's left out, and you're like, oh. Ugh.
Yeah, that was some good moldy blue cheese going on. Hey man, it tasted good. It healed him up after he got graved in that fight.
Dazzle actually went with the interesting item pickup to get a Diffusal to try and deal with some of these hexes. Have the Cleanse, the Purge. Shouldn't say Cleanse, it is a Purge. So a nice utility item picked up by the Dazzle. This is still anybody's game for the taking, though.
Oh yeah, this is...
I mean, we are in the thick of it right now.
I mentioned numbers like 70-30 in Insane's favor earlier. I still feel that's maybe like more 60-40 in their favor now-ish. Just Sigma with these late game item progression. The Abyssal Blade on your Beastmaster is pretty big.
Lion got an Ag Scepter. I don't know. Did we talk about that? Did we notice
I saw the point booster, but I didn't see you finish the Ags, and I don't think this is... It helps make him a bit tankier, but I don't think the upgrade's kind of cute. But how often are you going to hit more than one hero in it?
Cute. You know, I hope this is the game that we see that epic 3-man finger that gets a triple kill instant. I've been waiting for that since they changed that Ags upgrade, and we haven't seen it. Maybe this is the game, gods. I mean, a lot of other things have been going crazy in this game. It wouldn't surprise me.
It's only a 200 AoE. Like, it's a really small AoE.
It's rather small.
It's nice because it increases the damage.
Mm-hmm.
It also decreases mana cost, which is like whatever. Actually, the cooldown's what's really nice. The cooldown's 20 seconds. That's actually the best bit about this. So it's got low cooldown and lower mana cost. So we can actually use it quite freely.
Yeah, it's 625 right now, and he only has a 1400 mana pool. So, you know, you
and you
blow
need
that,
hexes. Hexes are like the big deal here.
Yeah, up top, we'll see initiation as that Miggle presses forward. He actually gets slowed. Will burn the BKB. That'll keep him alive for now.
Meanwhile, bottom.
Piggy comes out.
Dota.
Wow, bottom lane of Rax go down. This is some rat Dota.
Yeah, Necro Books plus Familiars, plus Beastmaster Aura. Like, that was double Necro 3 plus Familiars plus Beastmaster in a Beast Aura. Those Raxes just melted. And this is where I think Sigma may actually have the edge here.
Now Chomi, he'll take a Primal Roar. Frog comes out onto Fada. In comes the stun from Paris. He's already used the Epicenter. Did he whiff that Epicenter?
Oh, Finger of Death got used on Sanking, it looks like. Epicenter's on cooldown. He maybe actually cancelled it.
I think he cancelled it. Wow.
He's gonna TP
now
out.
Fada's in trouble. They'll get a kill on Fada. Paris almost getting interrupted. That was a close call.
That's really sums up Q Insane's problem right now. Is they can't actually kill so many of these heroes. Like, your Sankin gets down to a 5th HP. He just burrow strikes to the high ground, TP's out. These heroes are just really annoying and hard to kill because of all their blink daggers and escape spells.
Yeah.
Look at Miggle's item progression. He's going Dagon. I love it.
I mean, at this point, you just need to secure kills. E-Blade and Dagon, it's legit at this stage in the game. Oh, Mad. He'll get caught by Chomi. Easy kill for the Templar Assassin. And this is Roche number 6 here at the 70-minute mark. More cheese. Q and Sane have gotten every single Roche this game.
I don't think I've ever seen a game with more than 6 Roches. I'm pretty sure I've seen 6 before. In some good old Chinese Dota, of course.
I think this is a new record for me, actually. I don't think I've ever seen more than 5.
I don't know. I'd love, like, Dat Dota or whoever like has some stats on it. What's the most Roches in a single game? Batrider is going to find Inquisitor at top lane.
Yeah.
He may be okay. He's...
Dazzle's in some trouble.
He's still full
Chomi ports in, though. Yeah.
Like,
he
just took no damage.
Oh, now Sardar hops forward. He catches Paris as well as Pos. Throws out the amplified damage. They'll settle for a kill on Pos, though. He gets hexed.
Oh, Sankin's going to go back in with a burrow strike. He gets crushed, though. Nice crush from FN. Gets 2. Wow, the side blades hit both those 2 heroes. That was huge from Q Insane.
Now they're dead on Sigma.
Yeah, Slarddar's crush catching 2, and then the side blades bounce from Visage onto Starladder. That was just huge damage output. Great play coming from Insane Gaming.
The problem, though, everyone has buyback.
They got Raxes, though. Bignam's suddenly, like, getting Raxes casually.
Oh, Jesus. Whoa. Oh, that's... Sorry.
This is one of those games where Raxes don't really matter. Maybe Mega Creeps is the only thing that's going to matter. 4 Raxes won't even matter, but Mega Creeps will to some extent.
Fada, they'll force a buyback coming out from the Visage, but it's not enough. Fada gets dropped. He'll buyback straight away. Now Sigma could be in some trouble. The buybacks are on cooldown. There's that static charge. They'll go ahead and use it. BKB is coming out. How's this fight going to break out?
Fiend's Grip on Chomi is locking him in place. Even though he's in the BKB, that's just going to disable a lot of his damage output. He goes onto fucking Mad. Fucking Mad, he's still alive, though. And Chomi may take a fall here. That's a big loss. He will have buyback. He immediately uses it. Batrider getting disabled up as well. Aloha Dance has Cheese, Finger of Death. He needs to find a target for it. He blinks at the low ground. Great play from Q Insane. They're somehow staying alive, Andrew.
Yeah, Big Num comes back. Now FN, he's already proc the Aegis. He'll get crowd controlled as soon as he comes back up. But TA, she's rejoined the party. She's brought the booze, and she's going to town. Sigma in big trouble. They'll be forced to retreat to the well. Insane, overcommitting a little bit. Fountain shots coming out on Big Num. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. They will bring him down as TA reinitiates. This is insanity. Team Insane living up to their name.
Oh, man. TA's going to die with no buyback. No. That was a terrible decision from Chomi. They've still got 4 alive, so they can still defend here, but that... Oh my god, they brought in Bristleback as well. If he dies as well, it could be all over. That could be one of the biggest throws we've seen this entire game.
Certainly right.
Double diebacks.
BKB on. They just didn't need to commit to it. He's done.
They just... See ya. They could have just... That's one of those moments where it's like, okay, we lost this fight, let's either use our buybacks and then just push out the lanes, wait for our buybacks to come back up, or you just wait and see if you need to use the buybacks. Because buying back and then instantly dying again, Sigma's got 2 minutes with no TA, no bristleback. How do you defend without either of those two heroes? Your Line and Dazzle, like, they're your squishy backline supports. This is all on the Starladder, who, well, he also used buyback. I think Sigma may have won the game now.
Yeah, the problem was, like, it wasn't even a bad team fight. They picked off the Beastmaster, they forced the buyback from Visage when he only had a few seconds left, and then they dove all the way here. There's no reason to be fighting outside of the well. It's one thing if you take a fight near the tier 4s and you can transition that into a push to actually kill the structures, you know, a fight out here by the tier 3s, but diving into the well, as soon as Starladder started taking shots from the Firebush, that's when you know they overcommitted and overstayed their welcome.
Oh, man. And it's one of those things where they were thinking, hey, look, even if we overextend and lose this fight, we've got buyback, so we won't lose the game. But they bought back and TP'd in to die a second time.
Oh, Finger of Death does some damage to the creeps, but both supports simultaneously fall.
My God.
Dazzle buys back. I think this is it. Sigma will seal the deal.
Insane made a huge mistake with... it wasn't the buyback, it was the boots to travel in. Both TA and Bristleback TP'd back into the fight to die a second time. That's just catastrophic. You buy back and then you defend your base. And then they would have been fine. Then this game would have gone on, well, another 20 minutes. But I can't complain because the game looks like it will be coming to an end here. But that was just not the way I expected this game to end by with such a big mistake.
Yeah, same. Especially since
Lincoln's blocks are all there.
Yeah, especially since Insane played so cautiously throughout this entire game. Like, they were so patient and smart about taking fights. We'll hold that thought, though, as now Lion gets picked off. Ink Visitor, he's in some trouble. That'll be a dieback from the Dazzle.
TA's back. This is the last hope. This TA needs to do huge crits here. He's going to get just slept up. He gets woken up immediately. He's looking to do some right clicks here, but the creeps! How many fucking creeps are there here? Sigma have lost 2, though. Cheese on the Starladder actually keeps him alive there. He's looking for Paz. Gonna maybe get a crush on him. He's got crush in 2 seconds. Pash.
Can they make a hold right here? In comes Paris. He's got an epicenter. That'll do a hell of a lot of damage. FN falls. Show me. You are the hero right now. The last stand.
No chance.
And, oh, Paz is just hitting too hard. Show me falls. That's it. That's a GG. Well played. Throne is exposed. Mega creeps are out. Well, okay. Big Num. He'll try and buy a little more time.
74 or 75 minutes, man, makes a big difference right now. Depending on...
It's true.
Under.
Oh, it'll be 74. 3 seconds. The Fada just says Dota 2.
Some guy in chat is just like, man, I said 75 Sigma. What just happened? But what a freaking game.
Wow. But, yeah,
oh, man.
Insane played just so cautiously for so long. They took those great defends, and then...
They didn't have any other options. That was the kind of the main problem. And then at the end, like, that last push of theirs, it was the right time to push because the lanes were pushed out, but they just had to accept, hey, we lose the fight, we buy back, we reset. You defend until you have buybacks again. But they bought back, TP'd in, and then you've thrown the game. But we got to go right into Starladder America now.
Yeah, so we'll have a very short break, guys. An epic game between Sigma and Insane. Starladder America starts right now.